The dreaded check engine light has just come on, guys. What the hell is happening? Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. Unfortunately, this is gonna be a vlog and we were on the way out to get some furniture, but the Raptor decided to throw a check light and start misfiring. Upon inspection, opening the hood, I saw some rat droppings and some rat, I guess, rat marks. It's basically eaten through some of the wiring, some of the plastic, some of the garnish, and we're on the way back now to double check everything because even the AC doesn't work. And it's such a bummer because we were excited to go get some bar stools for our renovation. What do you think, honey?
Them's the brakes.
Them's the brakes. Evidence 1, some bite marks here. Obviously that's been eaten out as well, and some of that. So rat droppings here along the fuse box, and I have to check all these wirings here because the rat droppings seem to be situated in this corner. We're gonna remove the battery right now, and hopefully the ECU will reset also while we are looking for the issues. Aircon wire probably is somewhere down there. I'm gonna let it cool down and try to see inside. I am not a happy camper. We're gonna get straight to work and figure out what other damage this rat has caused the Raptor. Again, this is so disheartening because the car is so new, and yet rat problems, farm problems. When you have any check engine and you want to try to do a reset, you can try this solution, which is removing the battery terminal and hoping that it clears out. But obviously you're going to have to fix the main issue of looking for the actual problem before you install the terminal back on. I'm actually going to remove the whole battery to see if there's any other damage anywhere else. Rat piss and poo. Next up, I will be disconnecting the harness. Looks like the cover has to come off too. So far, under closer inspection, I haven't found anything that's really wrong. Visually, I've unplugged everything, took off the head cover, and the rat was staying underneath there too. I did drop a clip in here, which means I need to take all this off. I'm pretty lucky though that my oil catch can and my cold air intake arrived, so I'm gonna be doing a short install also on that while trying to work out the problems. The panels here were covered in rat feces and urine, and it was just gross. And I think some of them made a home also underneath the engine cover because it's a plastic piece which is lifted up. And visually, I have not seen any damage, but the car is severely misfiring. I will be taking off the coil packs if I can't find anything to check if any of the cylinders are dry or any of the spark plugs are wet. So either or, which will tell me if either the injectors are broken or the spark is broken. So right now I'm going to be removing the cowling and the cold air intake, and then we'll be working on the catch can first because that involves removing all the hoses that go into the crank side and the vent side. What's going to happen is the air box is going to come off along with this tube, and we're going to be replacing this side with a Roush cold air intake. After that, we're going to be mounting the catch can over there, and it's going to plug into the system. Should be a fairly quick install. They're saying this should take under an hour and that should take under 2 hours. We're gonna work that into this video at this point, and in the meantime it's gonna allow me to remove more stuff here and really get to take a closer look at the wiring and seeing if there's anything else wrong with the harness, because when I started the car again and I fiddled around with that, we got a cold aircon blast for like 5 seconds and then it turned off. Look how clean, unused. That is tightly fit in, but be careful with that, don't want to damage the sensor. I don't know if you can see this, but there's rat feces inside the air box. So the rat has managed to crawl into this intake because there's also feces over there. Definitely should be starting this car every few days if I don't want this to happen again. My brain is being challenged. Wilson's now looking at the truck, trying to find out if he can see anything that's different. So far, all the urine from the rat is gone, and underneath you can smell a little of it. And we haven't seen any wire that's been cut. In the meantime, I'm going to take a break from looking at that, and I'm going to assemble the catch cans from the Mishimoto oil catch can kit. Sorry about that sound. Sammy's doing some carpentry next to us. So we're going to be putting the fittings on this. What sucks is this has screws, this one doesn't have screws. So I'm not gonna be able to mount it, although I wonder if I could just use one screw each in the meantime. Not good. I don't know if I have anything similar in my tool chest. I will definitely go check it out because we do need some screws. I'm back. Here are the screws that I got. They're all different assortments, all different screws. I'm going to be putting 3 on first so I can send 1 down and hopefully find some. Not a perfect fit. I gotta shave this down just a little. Got carried away. Shouldn't install the return hose, the out hose yet, so that we can bolt this whole contraption together. Now for the smaller catch can. Sorry I haven't been speaking. There's been a lot of ambient noise here and I don't know how I'm gonna use some of the audio, so expect a music montage for most of the installation. So we have a small problem. This is the sensor that I'm supposed to put back, although it's supposed to be the same fitting on both sides, but instead I have this flexible hose on one side and it doesn't reach. So I'm going to try to just mate this like this, hoping that that holds, but I'm not very happy with that. I will take a photo and send it to my supplier just to make sure that I'm not screwing this up. Plugging this to the lower intake hose, last hose, which is connecting from there to here. Okay, I'm going to start dismantling the original intake hose here, and then we are going to be proceeding to assemble the Roush kit. This is the rubber grommet that's going to hold the intake back. So we're going to bolt that back onto the car. This mounting bracket is for the electrical harness that we removed from the side of the box. Amazing day. Must be the moon cycle or something. Anyway, we're gonna keep persevering, 'cause that's what we do. is a huge air filter. Look at that. Attaching the filter to the pod, and then this is gonna go straight into the housing. While my camera was charging, I decided to assemble the Y-pipe hose by adding all the connectors and the screws. Now we're gonna assemble everything. I did install the grommet already over here. I just need to tighten it down a little. The IAT is gonna go back in. It's not working. I'm now reassembling and reconnecting everything to the best of my knowledge. Alright guys, time for the moment of truth. We're gonna try to start the car and see if we still have the check engine. I'm so tired and dirty. We're not rough idling, but we still have the check engine. So yesterday, before I stopped working on the Raptor, I decided to do a ignition coil test where I unplugged the ignition coils when the car was running to check which ones were not firing, and what I found out was ignition number 1, or the bank 1 from the driver's side, does not work. And today I'm going to be removing the spark plug and checking if it's wet with fuel or it smells like fuel. And then after that, if that doesn't work, we could be switching the coil packs together, or switching coil packs to see if the trouble moves from the first to the second. And if not, I will bring a tester, which I have now, and a boroscope, and I'm going to be looking at the wiring behind the motor and tracing to see if the rat had bit anything else. Because again, when we first start the car, the aircon does go on for just that short bit and then it turns off. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. I still suspect that it is an electrical problem, but I have not seen anything substantial to prove that. I have a scanner coming up today. Hopefully that will help clear things out faster, but before that even comes, I'll be doing lots of the detective work, so to speak, so that I pretty much know if I need to replace the part or just fix the wiring. So let's get straight into it. The plug smells like fuel. We're gonna clean this real quick and then put it back. Alright, I cleaned the plug already, used a wire brush and a blowtorch to remove any residue. I'm not sure about the gapping, but we're gonna put it back and swap the coils out as well. We're gonna put this in bank 1 and we're gonna swap and see if the problem will jump. If the problem moves to the second bank, then we know it is the coil pack. But if it doesn't, then it could be the wiring altogether. I just found out also that these engines don't have injectors because they are direct injected, so which means we've eliminated one possible suspect. The scanner just arrived and now we're gonna scan the car. So, I don't know if you can see this, it's a bit overblown, but basically it's saying that we have a cylinder 4 injector circuit, NOx sensor 1 circuit, and coil D primary circuit. So we're gonna clear everything and start the car and try again. So we've cleared the codes, no other codes coming back. You know what, let's try to start the car now and see if it's still vibrating. Coil pack and see if there's any difference. There's no difference in this side of the coil pack. My next suspect is with no fuel coming in. We've swapped coil packs and the issue is still straight here. So I now have to dig deeper and check the fuel injector. I thought we didn't have injectors in this, but I actually need to study it again. Using the boroscope to look underneath the intake, and I was mistaken. We do have injectors on the fuel rail, which is the direct injection, which is what you see right here. So this guy is the one not firing, which is a permanent code already. I don't know if the fuel has just stuck up since we haven't started the car in so long. I will tap it first because we need to remove this whole intake to get in there, and I'm not willing to do that because that's a lot of work. I'm tired, but it looks like we have to remove the intake manifold to see if the wiring behind was eaten by rats. I used the borescope and really couldn't find anything. And now the whole manifold, which is this guy, the whole manifold has to get removed because the injector sits underneath, right under this runner, which means all the hoses need to come off and a few bolts. I don't know the torque spec, and it has to be torqued down because it is very crucial that it seats evenly, and I hope I don't wreck the gaskets. It should be okay because the car is new, but this has to happen, and I've tried so many things like tapping the injector and doing other things before getting to this stage, but we're gonna do it. And weirdly enough, there's nothing online showing how to remove the intake manifold, so this might be the first. Okay, wasn't so difficult. Make sure you don't damage any of the O-rings. Intake looks clean, no oil gunking here. So I've removed the intake, I've blocked it up so in case I drop anything. Upon closer inspection, I did find some wiring all the way underneath. So there it is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a yellow wire with a red stripe. Since I have to remove the fuel rail, I'm going to open the gas tank so that it doesn't explode on me. And I think I'm still gonna make a mess. Great, the gas tank has no cap. This is those easy push-in caps. So we're gonna just put a bottle and try to save as much fuel as we can. It is pressurized, so it's gonna be interesting. This is a direct fuel injection, which means I think there are 4 rails, and each rail has a fuel pressure sensor to tell how much fuel or how much fuel it needs to push into the system. Right now, as I said, we have seen the wire that was eaten. I've unplugged the back sockets over there, and yet I don't know which color code it is because it's a yellow wire with a red stripe, and those 2 sockets don't have it, which means I gotta dig deeper. So these guys gotta go. I gotta get a bottle to disconnect the fuel line over there and slowly work my way down and just clean it because I did see debris also underneath. This is probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever had to do. I'm now laying down because my back hurts so much. We had to make a special tool. I got a PPRC pipe, cut it, bend it, heat gunned it, and used it to remove the fuel line. If you're gonna do this job, you're gonna need something like this, or buy the tool, and don't be like me, but I wasn't prepared to do this, but I have to get in there and see what happened because I've been unplugging sockets and I still haven't found exactly what's wrong. I'm dizzy from the fumes and my back hurts from laying down, and I'm half tempted to give up and do it again tomorrow, but I want to get as much work done today so that I can wrap it up tomorrow. This is what we have so far. I've removed 2 fuel rails already, and I'm now going to the secondary fuel rail. So apparently this thing has a bajillion injectors and it is driving me crazy, super crazy. I have so much bolts there. That's 1 fuel rail. The other fuel rail I just folded over, and yep, keep working. Yep, that's the wire. And here is the fuel rail, and there is the wire that he's eaten. Parang surgery. I learned from YouTube that this is a retainer lock, and I just picked it out, and now voila. My pins are exposed. This has been such an adventure. Voila! Oh, let's not remove that just yet, so I remember the location of each one. So I'm gonna do this side first, and then I'm gonna move over to the other side. So what we're doing actually is just we're adding flux to the wire, which makes it easier to solder. So what happens when you add flux is you heat the wire and then you add the lead, and that will give it that finish or that coating, which will make it easy to solder it together after. There you go. We're just gonna do a pre-test just to make sure. Good. Now it's time to connect everything. Oh, okay, that's done. Alright guys, we have the first fuel rail in. Now we're doing the secondary fuel rail. I just have one more guy to go. I have no extra bolts, which is good, and Joey's decided to join us over there. It's pretty dark, they can't see you because the lights are overshining, but she's over there. And I decided to finish this all tonight because I don't want to forget how everything is arranged. So we're overtiming. Thank God I have some help. That's it guys. The manifold is going on, and hopefully this is gonna start and there's no more rough idle. Let's do this. Morning everyone, this is the moment of truth. We are going to road test the Raptor. I brought a fire extinguisher just in case something happens, but should be fine. Last night when we were revving the car out, it sounded like everything was okay. So apparently when I first started the car last night before the battery of the camera died, I forgot to plug the throttle position sensor. So that's why the car was misfiring severely. Unplugged it, plugged it in, and it still wasn't working, so I removed the battery again, did a hard reset, and after it started, check engine light was still on, and then I plugged the computer in and I reset it and it idled smoothly. We got it, check engine light is gone, revving nice and smooth now, and I was like, But now we're gonna do a road test. Joey's with me. We're gonna go find some bar stools, which was our mission the other day, and now we're gonna do it again. No check engine light, rough idle is gone, and everything looks clear. Gonna leave it on 4 high because it is muddy outside, and then later on maybe we'll put it down to 4 low. Got the air conditioning working also. I think it's just some loose wiring. So far so good. No check codes, just warming up, and we will try to give it a rip and see if we still have our power. So it's been about an hour and a half and we haven't burnt down, so I guess I did a good job. We have full power back, no lights, and I'm pretty happy with the results. And I'm back from the road test. Everything went according to plan, and we were able to buy the chairs. And we now have mud, because we did go through some mud, and it deserves to now remove this beautiful Roush sticker. There you go. All said and done. The Raptor is back to life, and wow, that was such hard work. I even got a scar on my hand, very deep, and some nicks and bruises from all the other work that we had to do. Remember, we had to dig straight into the V, and it was the last wire in the last injector socket all the way inside. Had to revive everything. I'm gonna end the vlog right here, and if you guys enjoyed that, please, you know the drill. See you guys soon.